Pretty sad news with students and parents today.
An 8th grader from Neil Armstrong Middle School took his own life last night. As counselors provide extra support for students and staff, we want to give parents some tools and information for suicide prevention.
Amy Frazier is here now, and you have some of that information for us.
Yeah, you know, it isn't an easy conversation to have, especially with a teenager. But if you see some of the warning signs we're about to tell you about, experts tell me don't be afraid to ask your loved one if they're thinking about suicide.
A tragic loss of a young life. When we first started covering this case outside of Forest Grove Tuesday, we knew only that a teenage boy had been shot. We later learned from deputies that a 13-year-old had taken his own life. So we decided to reach out to mental health professionals with Lines for Life. We hope sharing information on the general issue of teen suicide might help someone else.
And I do think sometimes as parents or as adults, we kind of look at teenagers and go, oh, they're teenagers are just being teenagers. Oh.
I found out common teenage behavior and suicide warning signs can be very similar. For example, behavioral problems, withdrawing from family and friends, neglecting hygiene, and sleep changes.
If you know what their typical patterns are, if you know what they're like, then you can understand the differences between when your child is just having a bad day or something that continues and progresses over the course of time.
There are also some risk factors for suicide, like previous suicide attempts, talking about death, and depression. I also found out it's typically a combination of things that can reach a breaking point when something else also happens.
The loss of a loved one, a divorce, something at school, a breakup, bullying, all those things combined typically create the perfect storm for feeling hopeless enough that you would want to take your own life.
If you're concerned that someone is considering suicide, experts say to ask them about it.
What we see amongst both the adult population and the teenage population is that somebody will tell you, yes, I am. I really am thinking about that. And when you do ask the question, you're in a position to get the help and the resources to this person that needs them.
Lifeline is one of the resources you can call for information or help. That number is 1-800-273-TALK. We've also posted that number tonight at KOIN.com. Another option, though, is to contact your doctor. Jennifer?
Tough story. Good information, though, Amy. Meanwhile,